All right. So this is a selfish question. First and foremost, from somebody that eats, let's see, at least 6 pounds of meat a week, right?
Mm.
What should we be worried about the meat shortage that the media is getting everybody to freak out about right now, that we're going to run out of meat? And when I go to the grocery store to get chicken, it's completely gone right now because people are making a run on, certain things. Should we be worried?
No, no. So the answer to this was no 2 weeks ago when the top leader of the Smithfield plant in Iowa, they had an outbreak of COVID, and then he was facing pressure from the government to shut down. They shut down, and that Smithfield plant in Iowa became the national hotspot for COVID in the country. When that plant closed down, the Smithfield leader basically came out and said the country's meat supply is in risk, is at jeopardy. And I said no right away, because people asked me, Zach, is the meat supply really at risk? And I said no. That brand was at risk to losing business to other suppliers and manufacturers, but our meat supply is so widespread and well distributed. There are manufacturers that can handle it. Now, what's happened since then? Tyson had 2 plants closed, JBS had a plant closure, and then more recently, I think last Sunday, Tyson took a full-page ad out in the New York Times and said, basically, your meat supply is at risk, and then Tyson threatened to close their other plants. Now, if they threatened to close all their other plants, yeah, you would see shortages. And basically what happened in response to that pressure from Tyson and the other companies is President Trump enacted the Defense Production Act yesterday or 2 days ago, and basically said it is essential to keep protein manufacturers open because they're essential to the economy and keeping food on plates, which is understandable. But the underlying thing of why he did that was to clear protein manufacturers of any liability issues from workers who got sick and potentially would die while working in a plant. And that has happened at the Smithfield plant and others. You had all these people that were being forced to go to work, were not going to be paid to not go to work, and they were going to be punished for not going in, even though they were sick, even though they were working, elbow to shoulder next to 200 other people in a cafeteria with 200 people at a time. These are hotbeds for disease. So what Trump did was protect the manufacturers from lawsuits. And I mean, this is why it's hard being president. And there's been a lot of things pro and con about how the president has handled this. I don't think there's a winner in that scenario, because people are sick and people are jeopardizing their health to go to work in these plants. But at the same time, if all these big manufacturers do close down, there will be shortages. So they are essential. So I think it's a hard decision to make. But to answer your question, no, there will not be shortages. And if there is a shortage at your supermarket, it's because the product is just going out as soon as it comes in. But retailers are receiving product. And if you go to your store and you don't see product, go there the following day or the day after, and product should be there.
All right. Yeah. So if you see a shortage at your store, it was more so it just happened to be a run on that day, and they just didn't get another shipment in. So you feel like even before the executive order, we didn't have anything to worry about. Executive order makes it easier now, right, to not have to worry about the food shortage, the meat shortage?
Yeah, because in the past, if you had one employee test positive for COVID, there was an argument that you would have to close the whole plant because that one person could then spread it to other people, even if that person was okay and didn't have a lot of heavy symptoms. But now that the liability has been lifted from the manufacturers, the manufacturers are going to increase their pay to the workers. They're going to increase bonuses, shift bonuses. They're going to run longer hours, and they're going to take the demand, because for manufacturers, they are getting holiday business right now for a 3-month period. I mean, some of these guys' demands are up 30% or more, and it's just a sustained long period of high demand, and they're gonna pay their workers to make it worthwhile for them to go in there.
That's great feedback. So I can get my ground beef, I can get my chicken. I'm good now. I'm gonna take your word for it. So you heard it here first. Zak Romanoff, president, Omni Food Sales, says that the meat shortage is not going to be an issue.